All right, traders, market analytics. We're back Thursday. We're kind of closing in on that on the week, and we wanted to touch base on this one, guys. The Euro versus the Canadian. We've just pulled the trigger here. It was actually yesterday, and we're getting into that second stage of that bearish campaign. If you remember, we were heavily involved in a bearish position up until a few days ago, right? We've marked down 45 as our final destination, kind of as the primary target. Well, not as final destination. Actually, it's the primary target. Final destination right from the get-go. We marked this level, guys, 43.92, because if you can actually see this is a different key level. It doesn't belong to that blue system, right? This is a black one. So where's that coming from? Let me show you. I'm gonna go to the big picture, the real big picture here, right? The monthly chart. This is the setup. This is the formation we're tracking here, guys. This is a big cycle, right? This is the long-term cycle. We're coming off the very edge of that system, and we've almost landed on the lower, right, on the lower section here. We actually missed it by a very small margin. I mean, in terms of monthly chart, that's a small margin, but it is a few dozens of pips, right? It's not a pip or two, even though it may look like it. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that price did not land on the lower section, which means it still owes that move to reach that lower section, to complete that leg, right? We're talking about the fifth leg here, right? So yeah, we think price is on the way down now, right? It's going to complete that move. It went for a bit of an upside correction. It lasted 1 month, right? And now it's back on the downside. It's going to penetrate the lower section, and it's hard to tell how deep it's going to go, but we think it's easily will reach 43.92. Now you see why we had that key level in black. Let me go back again to the daily chart. So we were very successful, in the previous move on the way down. We've made a killing, actually, and we got out at 45. Now you can see why we got out at 45. Obviously, there was such an amazing reaction here. We couldn't anticipate that, right? I mean, we got out at the very first day. Price had touched base here, but then we've seen the reaction, and we kind of reminded ourselves why we got out from here. Anyway, that didn't last too long. I mean, you can't really predict how far will go the counter move, the technical correction. But it was obviously reacting to the 45 level, but only for a couple of days. Well, actually 3 days, right? The fourth day, which was yesterday, actually triggered our second stage of this bearish position. We said that's exactly what we were going to do. We said if price will show that it's serious, breaking through 45, if it will provide the necessary evidence that it's making it, then we'll gladly come back, right? So we jumped back in, started, pulled the trigger the first time. I'm pretty sure we're gonna stay relatively small here, because that's kind of, the last stretch, right? The bulk of the move had already been, had already been done here, which was, price when it started to turn around. Ever since it came off that higher section, and when it landed on the 45, that was the bulk of the move. Now we're trying to kind of squeeze that lemon to the end of it, right? We think there's some more potential on the downside, but that's definitely a bit more risky. That's the riskier stage of this particular bearish campaign. All right, just keep that in mind. But we definitely feel pretty comfortable that price will take it. It's hunting the previous lows. That's pretty much what it does right now. Aside from the fact that it's kind of completing that fifth leg when we saw the big picture, right? When we're looking at that big formation, that's one. But second here, it's kind of chasing the previous lows. So the first thing we should expect here is for price to land, take the previous low around 44.20, and then we'll have a very small margin to hit that target at 43.92, and then we're out. Alright guys, we're starting with stop loss level at 45.80. It's very important the price will remain below 45, otherwise we're going to consider pulling out. Very simple. All right, that's about it for the Euro Canadian. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.